Good evening. It is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to UW-Rock County Commencement of 2013. As Dean, I have the privilege of participating in many events, but this is by far my favorite every year, and this is my second time, so twice. Last year, I was so excited and eager to make sure that the event went smoothly that I got caught up in all that I was saying, and I forgot 4 very important words. Graduates, please be seated. Luckily, one of my colleagues guided them to sit down at a logical moment so they didn't have to stand the entire ceremony, but I've heard about it a couple of times since then. One housekeeping device. While I would like to send everyone just one more email, we probably shouldn't do that, so if you please make sure that your devices are silenced, that'd be great. Before we begin, I think it's important that you students, show your gratitude to 2 very important groups of people. First, to those who have challenged you and supported you and gotten you to do things you thought you probably never could do, the fabulous faculty and staff that are seated before you. And second, to the people who were with you and supported you before you got here, while you were here, and will continue to be there for you after you leave. And that's your family and loved ones out in the audience. Now I'm pleased to announce the recipient of the UW-Rock County's 2013 Outstanding Alumni Award is Lori Bartz, the young adult librarian at Hedberg Public Library in Janesville. Throughout Lori's career, she has worked tirelessly to instill a love of learning in young people from kindergarten to college. She has quietly touched thousands of lives, even some of those who are sitting on stage today. Lori attended UW-Rock County directly after high school and worked in our bookstore and our library. After earning her Associates of Arts degree here, she went on to UW-Whitewater, where she also worked in their library. She earned a bachelor's degree in education from UW-Whitewater, focusing on elementary education and vocal music education. Lori's education and her experience working in libraries helped her secure her first job as a reference technician at Janesville's Public Library. There, she provided research and reference services and assisted with the interlibrary loan process for a decade. She taught summer school for the Janesville School District from 1981 to 1995 and was a teacher at Rock County Christian School from 1988 to 1993. She also worked as a project librarian for 2 grant-funded programs through the Arrowhead Library System. The first, Breaking the Cycle of Illiteracy, promoted reading in preschool programs, and the second, After School Special, bringing kids and books together, helped child care staff motivate young readers. In 1995, Lori returned to Janesville's Hedberg Public Library as a Youth Services Associate and later added the role of Young Adult Program Specialist. In this role, she selected the library's materials for teens and promoted their use through a number of book discussions, school visits, library programs, and special events. She also assembled, and I think this is very creative, a teen advisory board that developed interesting ideas to promote library services that included a battle of the bands and, I'm sorry I missed this, a zombie prom. Moreover, Lori helped teens by sponsoring the College Goal Wisconsin, a day students and their parents get help with their financial aid forms and questions about college, an event in which UW-Rock County has been a proud partner. In addition to her work and activity with several local and national professional associations, Lori also is active in the community. She is a board member and officer for both the Janesville Virtual Academy and the Janesville Mobilizing for Change. Lori is an excellent example of a long tradition of UW-Rock County students who graduate from this campus and remain in the Rock County community and make a difference. It is my sincere pleasure to present the 2013 Outstanding Alumni Award to Lori Bartz.
Good evening, and thank you, Dean Wilson, and thank you to the UW-Rock County Alumni Award Nominating Committee for this wonderful honor. I accept the award with deep gratitude and respect toward the staff, faculty, and students here today, as well as my fellow alumni. I'd also like to thank members of my family for attending this special event. As you heard, I arrived here right out of high school in 1974, and on registration day, students met in Hyatt Smith Hall to literally sign up for classes. We moved from table to write our names on sheets of paper in order to register. It was a somewhat lengthy process, but was a wonderful social experience for the freshmen. We got to meet fellow students and faculty members. I remember one faculty person in particular was the music choir director, and he was there encouraging students to sign up for choir. And I was recruited along with a lot of other freshman students. After that, I enrolled in additional music classes, my favorite being music theory. The theory professor allowed me to actually teach a class to elementary students, elementary education students, because he knew that one day I wanted to become a teacher. His vote of confidence was just enough to convince me to keep studying music at UW-Whitewater. When I signed up for choir that day, I had no idea that I would end up earning a music minor, later teach music, direct musicals, and become part of a band. Music is really part of what I now do as a public librarian. Whether it's in story times for children or, as mentioned, the Battle of the Bands for teenagers, the combination of music and education is still fascinating to me, especially as it relates to early literacy and learning. I also enjoy listening to my son Brian's band. My career as a public librarian also had its roots here at UW-Rock County. As was mentioned, I worked at the library here and at UW-Whitewater. I graduated in 1978, and at that time, a large number of teachers were being laid off in Janesville and the surrounding area. So there were really no jobs available in my field. It could sound a little familiar. A friend told me about a job at the library, and because of my experience and education, I was able to get that job and hold it for quite a number of years. So my education experiences at UW-Rock County were the foundation for every position that I have held. You now hold a valuable degree As you go forward toward a job, a bachelor's, or even a master's degree, focus on the things that you enjoy. It may be music, education, business, or science. Whatever it might be, you have shown that you can succeed. UW-Rock County is an asset to Janesville and the surrounding area. What makes this campus so important? Yes, the beautiful new buildings and the renovations. Yes, the knowledgeable faculty and staff, trivia champs many years in a row. Yes, the Rock County Rattlers, but also the partnership this institution has with its community. As was mentioned, UW-Rock County and the library partner together to provide resources for high school students as they enter college. And it's also helpful to the parents, many who are going through this for the very first time. So, Kristen Philhauer, Assistant Campus Dean for Student Services Advisors, faculty and staff come to the library for the sole purpose of helping students and parents figure out financial aid and FAFSA forms. What's special is that none of the people involved give up their time for their own advancement or even for the benefit of their own university. Regardless of where a student might attend college, help is given because as a group, we believe in the students of Janesville, Wisconsin, and we want to see them succeed. UW-Rock County faculty and staff are decent, caring members of our community that I am proud to call friends and colleagues. You've probably heard it said that it's easy to give back when so much has been given to you. I think it's true. So I encourage you to go on from here and get as much education as possible. Education becomes a part of you that cannot ever be taken away. Do the work you choose because you believe in it. And then someday, give back because you can. Remember, this has been the best start for the life you want. Thank you very much.
Each year at graduation, we choose several outstanding students to honor with several different awards. Some of those awards come from our local campus departments, and some of them are selected by larger colleges or system-wide groups. The first award that we're going to talk about today is the Daniel Atwood Research Essay Award. This year, the award goes to Rebecca Cullum. While I did not nominate Rebecca, I could easily have done so had she written a research paper for my class. She is by far one of the most advanced, graceful, and skilled writers that I've encountered in all of my years teaching. And as a result, her presence in the classroom is always positive, both in terms of her own contributions and in work with other students. So as a result, we honor Rebecca Cullum today with the Daniel Atwood Research Essay Award.
Good evening. I'm Michael Gorman, an instructor in the Department of Chemistry. Every year, the Chemistry Department presents two awards to outstanding students. Our first is the American Chemical Society Rock River Scholarship, and is awarded to outstanding performance in organic chemistry. This year, the scholarship is presented to David Hankins, but he couldn't attend, so we're going to say nice things about him behind his back. Dave has shown a great deal of growth over the year, even as the material became increasingly difficult in a course that is typically looked forward to with varying levels of horror by many students. His hard work and focus really paid off. David plans on attending pharmacy school, and we look forward to watching his career bloom. And we'd like to thank the local section of the American Chemical Society for their support in this award. Our second award is our first year Excellence in Chemistry Award. And this award is presented to recognize outstanding performance across 2 semesters of general chemistry. This year, the award is presented to Doreen Beeler, if she could come up. Doreen has consistently demonstrated exceptional ability in all aspects of her chemistry work. And it's with great pleasure that I present her with our first-year Chemistry Achievement Award. There is also a rather large book that is part of the award, but it was going to need its own chair, so she'll get that later on. Congratulations.
The August Derleth Hugo Schwenker Award is given to the best piece of creative writing that is produced, whether that's a series of poems, a short story, or a creative nonfiction essay that's produced by a student in one of the 13 colleges. So it's a colleges-wide award. It's always an intense competition, and the level of student work is simply outstanding. And I am proud to announce that this year, for the second year in a row, that award is going to a UW-Rock County student. And that award this year is going to Andrew Mathwick for his short story, 3 milligrams plus 3 milligrams plus 3 milligrams equals 9 milligrams of Xanax in 120 minutes. Phew. For which he'll win $250. Although he couldn't be here with us tonight, please join me in celebrating his accomplishment.
Good evening. I'm Dave Carlson. I am coordinator of the Learning Support Center, better known as just the LSC, and I am pleased to be able to present the 4th annual LSC Tutor of the Year Awards. On any college campus, tutors are among the best and most talented students you'll find. At UW-Rock County, the best of these best, nominated by the students they have served, are Tammy Davies and Nick Munger. Will the two of you join me at the podium? Thank you. Tammy and Nick have both been tutors since the spring of 2012. Tammy is an aspiring writer who, besides her work in the LSC, has also been an office receptionist here on campus and a peer mentor. Fellow students know that they can get gentle but trustworthy advice from Tammy about anything from how to reorganize a very rough draft to how to do better on a history professor's tough essay exam. Instructors have told me about the confidence they have in Tammy's ability as a writing consultant for their students, and I can tell you, Tammy, that those instructors, those students, and I are all going to miss you next year when you're at UW-Whitewater. Stay right here. Nick Munger is moving on too. He says he'll be around to help students in a math class this summer, but then it's off to UW-Madison, where he'll be a computer engineering major. In his own studies and as a tutor, Nick has demonstrated a wide range of abilities. The students he has helped in math, chemistry, physics, and yes, sometimes even writing, appreciate his patience as much as his mastery of the material. I admire Nick's good humor and the resolve that he has shown to get through some rather difficult circumstances. And I have to point out, you all might not believe it, but Nick is the inspiration for what we now call down in the LSC Fancy Wednesday. And if I could fish out my phone, I could show you a photo of Nick tutoring in his tuxedo. But I'm glad you feel comfortable just as you are, Nick. I'm glad that you both have been with us for 2 years, and I know it's time for us to say goodbye. Our loss will be the gain of other campuses. So best wishes to you both, and congratulations.
I am delighted to announce that Derek Shivink has been selected as one of 3 students in the entire UW system. So this is not just the colleges, but it's all of the other institutions, including Madison, to receive the 8th annual UW System Liberal Arts Essay Scholarship Award. These scholarships, which award each winner $2,000, are intended to recognize and reward outstanding students from among all UW system institutions. Derek's essay, Red and Blue Makes Purple, How My Education Got Me Through the Elections of 2012, was chosen by a special UW System committee comprised of deans, faculty members, and administrators from the campuses and the UW System administration. Derek's composition was chosen for its original articulation of how his liberal arts education has helped him develop informed opinions and guided his participation as a citizen in Wisconsin's dynamic civic arena. A true liberal arts education instills in students the ability to think critically and to understand ideas and issues in context, attributes demonstrated throughout Derek's essay. Unfortunately, Derek could not be with us tonight, but please join me in celebrating his award. And now we want to move on to celebrate some of our outstanding staff. First, I would like to recognize Wilson Leong. Come on up. It's your turn. Who, you know, I would get these emails. I had to just stop for a minute. I get these emails. And I didn't always realize I was copied in on them. And they would start out Wilson, and they'd go on, and I would think somebody's calling me by my last name. I'm not used to that. And then I'd realize, no, they were meant for Wilson. So it was always a little confusing to me. But anyway, Wilson is retiring from his role as our athletic director. During his time here, Wilson has gone above and beyond, working many more hours than we pay him to do. He has made sure that our athletes and coaches have always had successful seasons, and maybe not in terms of winning, but in terms of their growth, our students' growth as students. Wilson places a high value on academics and knows that that's our first mission here, but sees athletics as a way to be able to help students excel in their academics as well. This is very typical of Wilson. He gives of himself often and in many ways. He's served on many boards, including the Rotary Gardens, the Janesville Literary Council, and the Milton School Board, and there's many more boards and activities. Prior to joining the UW Rock community, Wilson worked for 28 years at the Janesville Gazette as a public relations and promotions manager. So this is actually his second retirement. We'll have to see if this one sticks. Congratulations, Wilson. Now I'm honored to present emeritized status to 2 of our extraordinary staff members. The first is Barbara Bendlin. Barbara's colleagues and students often comment on how extraordinarily patient and kind Barbara is, and I'm sure that many of our students on stage have interacted with Barbara as she helps students learn math. She is passionate about ensuring every student learns and is devoted to getting to know all of her students so that she can individualize her teaching to their learning styles. Barbara also served the campus community in ways that is not always common for our instructional staff. She was very interested in policy and procedures, and she was always involved in asking questions and was very keen in her ideas about how we could improve things here. Unfortunately, Barbara could not join us this evening, but please join me in congratulating her for this great honor. And finally, I am honored to present emeritized status to one of our other instructional staff members, John Sanka. John, could you join me? John has been a wonderful member of the UW Rock County community for 12 years. First and foremost, John's students love him and appreciate his depth of knowledge, passion for his discipline, outstanding teaching ethics, compassion, positive attitude, and enthusiasm. What they don't love him for are the P90X classes. And I can attest to that. I've been through a couple, and and what's really annoying is he never even seems to get tired. His student evaluations have always been superb. John has been an excellent role model. His ultimate goal has always been to share his passion for physical fitness with his students, encouraging them to make good nutritional choices and exercise part of their daily lives, and to become lifelong learners in their own wellness. Finally, John is a beloved member of the campus community. His positive attitude resonates across campus. He not only has been a strong team member, but our most effective cheerleader for quality, lifelong education. A colleague once remarked that John brightens the room and adds energy just by walking in. He charges the campus with vitality and good humor, instilling by his example the high expectations of the university staff and students alike. Congratulations, John. So to Wilson, John, and Barbara, let me just say that we are going to miss you all a great deal, and remember that you will always have many friends here at UW-Rock County, and so we hope you will stay in touch. Thank you. Am I still up? No. It's you.
Good evening, and congratulations, graduates. My name is Zach Curtis. I'm on the Communications and Theater Arts faculty here. And as such, it's been my pleasure to work with many of these students for many, many hours on this very stage in the past year. Thank you for those hours. Over the past couple weeks, it has been my privilege and pleasure to work with Tammy Davies as she prepares to speak to you all this evening. During that time, I've gotten to know Tammy a little bit. She is planning on leaving us and going to UW-Whitewater, as you've learned, to pursue publishing. And after getting to know her a little bit, I have no doubt that she will be fantastic about that. And I wish her all the luck in the world. And so I would like to introduce to you Tammy Davies.
I promise to try not to bore you guys too much. But there's a lot that I'd like to say about the campus, but I'm not very good at impromptu speaking, so I literally wrote the entire thing because I'm a writer. An old English blessing says, "May the road rise up to meet you, may the wind always be at your back." May the road rise up to meet you was mistranslated from Gaelic to English. It's an idiom that really boils down to good luck, safe journey. The blessing is usually used during a solemn occasion, but today I believe it's just as fitting for celebration and change. Every chapter in our lives has to have a beginning, a place where our feet reach down to the earth and the road rises up to meet them, carrying us off on our journey. For me, reaching my feet towards this road was not an easy choice, as it likely wasn't for my fellow alumni up on the stage today. Some of us came straight out of high school, not sure what to expect out of college. Some of us had to make the difficult decision to return to school after, who knows how many years out. The choice to come back was especially difficult for me. My husband and infant son were both dependent on me. I was the breadwinner in the family while my husband attended UW-Madison. The decision to go back to school would put my family through the financial grinder, so I knew that I had to have a plan, a firm plan of action to keep me from failing. You get to see my plan. This was my college plan. As you can see, it's very well loved. It's got coffee stains and cup rings and everything on it. In the homemade book, there are actually tabs. I have the entire UW College's course guide, as well as the entire course guide for UW-Whitewater's English and Communications majors. I was prepared. Anytime I had any questions, I just flipped open my magic little book and tried to find my answers. I even have transfer information sheets in this book that tell me what class is here, transfer to Whitewater for what credit. I remember when I first walked in to meet with Dave Carlson. He was my trio advisor. He referred to this book as my academic Bible. I'm pretty sure he wasn't too worried about my path through college after he saw it. But what I encountered in college, I couldn't always find the answer for in my little book. There were challenges that I wasn't prepared to face, but I refused to fail. The road rose up to meet me as I began the new chapter in my life story, just as it did for my fellow students up here with me today. During my 2 years here on campus, I worked in the Learning Support Center as a writing tutor, as you've all learned now, and a desk worker. I saw students come through seeking help from student tutors. I understood their challenges, having had to struggle through some of them myself. Anyone who knows me knows that math is my kryptonite. Thankfully, my husband is really good at it. So anytime I had problems, anytime I was in tears or I wanted to burn my math book, I just turned to him and said, "Help." I have a joke that I found. It's from Facebook, so bear with me, but it's short. And it is related to math. But it made me laugh when I was at the height of my frustration with math courses here. "Dear Algebra, please stop asking us to find your ex. She's never coming back. And don't ask why." I didn't meet an instructor here who wasn't open to students in need of help. I never had the pleasure of having her as an instructor myself, but Erin Ellison, who is a writing teacher here on campus, she always had her door open for me anytime I had questions or I just wanted to chew her ear off. As long as her door was open, I was always welcome in. Dean Wilson gave me advice when I was struggling with a personal issue. She let me come into her office, and we sat down, and we just talked, and she kind of gave me a little bit of the push in the right direction. The faculty here has always had their doors open. They support us. My fellow students and I wouldn't be here today, though, if not for the support of the ones that we love. To our mothers and fathers, our spouses and our children, to our grandparents and our siblings, we want to thank you for all that you've done for us and all that you continue to do. 1 week before the start of the spring semester in 2012, I faced a new challenge to my college career, another one I didn't have the answer for in my little book. I gave birth to my daughter. Thanks to my husband Taz, my parents, and my mother and father-in-law, I was able to return to classes on time without missing a single one. They provided me the support that I needed, no questions asked. This chapter would not have been complete if not for our families, the fellow students, and the faculty. They were the wind at our backs. But hey, let's get real. Let's not forget about ourselves here. We're here today because of our own hard work, determination, and success. It's a long road that has no turning, and the road to success starts in a heart that wants to be the best at something. It's a narrow road, and many people miss it because the road to failure is broad and wide. My fellow alumni, you've taken the narrow road, and through your own hard work and determination, you're achieving the success that your hearts desire. So, today and always, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. Good luck and safe journey.
I'm Amy Kavanaugh. I'm Assistant Professor of Biology and Chair of the Evaluations Committee here. Every year, the Evaluations Committee has the great honor of reading through the nominations for the Faculty and Instructional Academic Staff Excellence in Teaching Awards. And we have the great burden of only being allowed to select one recipient from the faculty category and one recipient from the Instructional Academic Staff category, even though we have so very many wonderful teachers here at UW-Rock County. So, this year, it is my honor to present Casey Thayer with the Gil Seedor Excellence in Teaching Award. Casey was nominated for this award by one of his students, which is one of the greatest honors I think a teacher can ever receive. So I will share a portion of her nominating letter. Professor Thayer is by far my favorite professor I have experienced during my 2 years at URock and made it easy to wake up in the morning for school. His stimulating lectures, texts, and assignments inspired me to be a better student. Most importantly, he taught me that being an effective communicator, possessing knowledge about our language and what it means, is a key factor of being successful in life. His work with students has not been limited to the classroom. Casey has also spent many long hours fostering student growth as advisor of the Rock River Review, UW-Rock County's premier journal of arts and culture. For his work in creating an engaging classroom experience, inspiring students to achieve more than they had thought possible, and nurturing creative discourse on our campus, we wish to express our appreciation of Casey Thayer with this award. It is my additional honor to present Michael Workus with the Instructional Academic Staff Award for Excellence in Teaching. Mike's commitment to teaching goes far beyond his official duties on campus as a TRIO advisor, an instructor, and an advocate for student success. Mike is an invaluable asset to the campus. Recently, Mike worked on a project to improve placement in writing courses by researching current methods, traveling around the state to consult with experts in the field, working tirelessly throughout the summer when he was not under contract, and collaborating with colleagues on conference presentations and articles. He has been instrumental in the implementation of a developmental reading and writing curriculum program. He has been a tireless and dedicated advocate for resources for English language learners on campus, championing and organizing the hiring of a specialist in the field and working to add additional support courses. As a teacher and an advisor, Mike is invested in helping his students from meeting with them outside of class, offering innovative, accelerated courses, and continually looking to improve his teaching by staying active in pedagogical scholarship. For all of these reasons and many more, we wish to express our gratitude and our appreciation of all the good work that Mike does for the UW-Rock County campus community by granting him this award.
It is now my privilege to introduce our commencement speaker, Chancellor Ray Cross. And I had some introductory remarks about him, then he peered over my shoulder and read and said, shorten that. So I will. Chancellor Cross, farm boy. That's what he told me to say. I'm not quite done yet, though. But you can come on up. I'm almost done. You know, because he's my boss, I do what he says. But one thing I do want to say is it has truly been my honor to work with Ray over this past year and a half. He is a smart, humble, creative person. I feel like we have many traits in common. In particular, I like to call myself cognitively impulsive. Some people might say impatient. But that is a trait that serves the colleges quite well in Ray Cross because he really gets things done, and he's a joy to work with. So, Chancellor Ray Cross, farm boy.
Good evening. Thank you, Dean Wilson, Carmen, rock star, which has a double meaning in this case. faculty and staff. Have some outstanding folks here in the classroom, and I don't think I have to just ask the students that are graduating. I think I can probably see it on the faces of the parents as well. It's really nice to be here. It is. I was thinking as Tammy was sharing her thoughts, I have never had to give birth and get back into the classroom. Wow, that's impressive. I don't know if you've seen that clip where these two guys, their wives, talk them into going into this birthing simulation chamber. And they attach these electrodes to their stomach muscles, and they simulate labor. And the wives are just rolling in laughter as these guys are bent over in pain, screaming and hollering and asking them to shut it off. It's pretty funny. Congratulations to all of you graduates, and I mean that sincerely, and to parents and friends and other supporters who've helped them along the way. I normally break into song about right now. I'll spare you that, and you'll be glad. You're here today on this great day in May, sitting in yet another auditorium, listening to yet another boring speaker ramble on about something you won't remember when you walk out that door. But things aren't exactly as they seem. We aren't really sitting still. We're just balanced in space by gravity. Together, we're riding on this gigantic ball we call Earth, which is whirling around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. The sun is nestled in a galaxy that itself is hurtling through the depths of space at 1.3 million miles per hour. Holy cow, we should be screaming in panic. But we aren't. In fact, some of you might even be sleeping now. Maybe just resting comfortably. In some ways, life is like that. If we don't look beyond our immediate surroundings, we miss the things that make life really exciting. If we don't realize what is going on around us right now, what is really happening in our homes, our communities, our country, or around the globe, we become indifferent. What a disease. Or bored. And we even become boring people. Life is a wild journey. It isn't wise to just stumble blindly down this trail. We need to blaze a new one. So, to help you navigate this wild ride, I'm going to give you some simple rules to remember. I call them Ray's Rules for Life. Kind of has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? After I'm through, you may actually have another name for them. Rule number 1. Refuse to grow up. I'll let that sink in a minute. It's probably not advice you hear very often. Absolutely refuse to grow up. Sit at the kids' table at large family functions until they threaten to kick you out of the family. One day you will realize that we're really all children in various stages of growing up. Your parents are just kids at some stage of growing up. So as you afford them the honor due them as your parents, remember they're children in older bodies. One early morning in the central highlands of Vietnam, we were getting ready to move out. We were cooking sea rations, little cans of ham and eggs, really rotten, slimy stuff. The ham would turn the eggs green, and it was cheaper. It was rotten stuff. We were cooking this over sterno cans when some kids from a nearby village gathered around the edge of our campsite, and we were suspicious of kids because we'd had a few incidents prior to this. But after looking them over carefully, we waved for them to come on over. One little girl about 7 or 8 years old came over to where I was sitting and stared at me while I was grumbling about the slimy ham and eggs. It was a cool morning at that elevation, so we were trying to stay warm. Most cases in Vietnam, you didn't have to worry about staying warm. She was barefoot, half naked, and absolutely filthy. Finally, my eyes caught hers, and we both stared at each other for just a few moments. While I know it was only a few seconds, I can still to this day see those big brown eyes, and oh, the stories those eyes told. Writers have often said that eyes are the windows of the soul. Well, the eyes of this little girl exposed a soul full of sad stories. I gave her my ham and eggs. She scarfed them down. I called the interpreter over and tried to engage her in a conversation. She wouldn't say much. I was a grown-up that didn't speak her language. As our unit moved out, I couldn't get her out of my mind. Grown-ups had messed up her world. Grown-ups were forcing her to grow up. But she just wanted to be a child. So did I. Maybe that's why we connected for just a moment. Maybe she looked into my eyes and saw that I, too, was nothing more than a child. And I really didn't want to grow up either. I, too, was being forced to do things I didn't want to do. So trust me, growing up isn't really all it's cracked up to be. Rule 2. Never thought I'd get there, did you? Rule 2. If somebody hands you a breath mint, take it. You probably have bad breath. When someone offers you honest criticism, even when you don't like it, take it. Weigh it. Ponder it carefully. Reflect before you reject. Reflect on it before you reject it. They actually may be trying to tell you something. You might have the equivalent of bad breath, some offensive trait that you cannot see. When I was in the corporate world, I remember a consultant explaining why we needed an outside perspective to help us see our products and our services as our customers saw them. He used the analogy that we simply couldn't smell our own breath. All of us have tried that, this kind of stuff. He had us experiment with every method we knew, and of course, none of them really worked. An honest critic is a greater friend than a platitude-spewing colleague. Those kind of colleagues never offer you a mint. Rule number 3. It gets better. Maybe not. Rule number 3. You have to get in the game if you want to play. Jackie Robinson said, life is not a spectator sport. If you're going to spend your whole life in the grandstands just watching what goes on, in my opinion, you're wasting your life. When I was younger, I used to pick up basketball at a local gym all the time. As my boys grew up, they would often come down to the gym and stand on the sidelines, sit on the bench, and they would chase loose balls and shoot at one end while we were shooting at the other end. You know how that goes. When they got a bit older, they would always anxiously wait for one of us to yell after some folks might have left, "Hey boys, we need another player. You want to play?" Of course they did. They loved it. They couldn't wait to get in the game. Most of the time, if you want to play in the game, you have to be standing on the sidelines and you have to be ready just to get in. When your opportunity knocks, open the door. Get in the game. Larry Lucchino, who is the president of the Boston Red Sox, has, I think, a really neat little quote, and I'll probably read it twice. Life is not about warming yourself by the fire. Life is about building the fire. Life is not about warming yourself by the fire. Life is about building the fire. Build fires. Don't stand by and warm yourself and watch others play. Get in the game. Rule number 4. You still with me? There will be a test on your way out. Rule number 4. Dream, but don't sleep while you're dreaming. Dream, but don't sleep while you're dreaming. It doesn't matter if your dream comes true if you spent your whole life sleeping. Don't sleepwalk through life. Dream when you are awake, but don't stop living while you dream. It's a great plan. It's really great. You saw Tammy's plan up here. I love students when they do that. But nothing ever happens in your future. It happens now, in the present. Live your life where the action is now. Don't always be waiting for tomorrow. When I was your age, I was dreaming about the future. Too much of my time was spent dreaming about what I wanted to do. The perfect wife, the perfect job, the perfect house, perfect kids, of course, in a perfect neighborhood with perfect pets, and of course, my new perfect Porsche. Now I spend too much of my time thinking about the past because I'm old. Most people my age do. The good old days. My dad used to say, he was an old farmer, and you can probably hear him say this, if you have one eye on yesterday and one eye on tomorrow, you're going to be cockeyed. Don't be cockeyed. Focus on this moment, this time, right now. Finally, as those great public radio philosophers, Tom and Ray, the Click and Clack brothers, often say, for college graduates, you will never have more energy or enthusiasm, hair, or brain cells than you do today. It doesn't get any better, guys. It only goes downhill from here. So enjoy this moment. This time, it's your time. Well, those are just 4 of Ray's many, many rules for life. I have 346 in total. Aren't you glad I didn't read them? But remember, never grow up. If somebody offers you a breath mint, take it. You have to get in the game and dream, but don't sleep while you're dreaming. Life is a journey. It's not a destination. While the world is spinning in circles at speeds unimaginable, and our galaxy hurtles through space, going who knows where. The Earth is going round and round, but where in the world is this galaxy going? Just remember, you are perfectly balanced by gravity to choose your path, not your destination, but your path. You do not arrive there. There is no there. When you have arrived with a job, family, home, or other dream perfectly realized, you are not there. There is no there. Would you like that play on words? There is here, inside you right now. The capacity for contentment, for real happiness, has to be in you, regardless of where there is. I thank you for listening. I congratulate you on your accomplishments, and I wish you a lifetime of true happiness as you live in the moment and snap your seat belt, because the world is going to get even wilder. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chancellor Cross. Now I would like to introduce Dr. David Van Buren, Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Graduate Studies, and Dr. Lisa Riedel, Associate Dean of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science, who will grant the Bachelor's of Science degrees to the UW-Platteville engineering students.
Thank you. Congratulations to all the graduates. In October 2001, our institutions entered into an agreement whereby UW-Platteville and the UW colleges would offer a collaborative engineering program delivered at the UW college campuses, leading to an ABET-accredited Bachelor of Science in Engineering degrees. Since that time, we have graduated over 120 engineers from the program. Today, we award 3 Bachelor of Science degrees in electrical and mechanical engineering from this collaborative program. Will the degree recipients please stand? Marty Johnson. Misty Olson. And Sarah Weir. As the Associate Dean of the College of Engineering, Mathematics, and Science at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, I certify that you have completed the requirements established by the university faculty for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mechanical and/or Electrical Engineering. And with the authority vested in Chancellor Shields by the Board of Regents of the University of Wisconsin System, and on behalf of Chancellor Shields, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree which you have earned together with all the rights and privileges attending thereto. Congratulations.
We will now present the Associates of Arts and Sciences degrees.
Will the first row of graduates please stand? Tammy Davis is going to be attending UW-Whitewater for a publishing degree. Sarah Dow will be going for her nursing degree. Haley Lopez is debating between biology and dietetic major at UW-Whitewater. Chris DeGeicher is going to be attending UW-Whitewater for Spanish. Ashley Weber will be attending UW-Oshkosh for a nursing degree. Jean Zamora will also be attending UW-Oshkosh in kinesiology. Alexander Brockhoff will also be attending UW-Oshkosh for English. Benjamin Kelly will be attending UW-Whitewater for sociology. Amy Christofferson will be attending UW-Oshkosh for political science. Danielle Dewey will be attending UW-Parkside for the athletic training program. Lisa Schmidt will be attending UW-Whitewater for communicative disorders. Melissa Duran hasn't decided what she's doing after her degree, but she'll be doing some fine things. Melan Mejia will be attending Rockford College for nursing. Markeisha Jenkins will be going to UW Milwaukee for pre-dentistry major. Heather O'Donnell will be attending UW-Madison School of Nursing to achieve her nursing degree. April Hatcher will be attending UW-Madison for nutritional sciences. Rihanna Ross is going to be a biology major at UW-Milwaukee. Brenda Arenda, will be an accounting major at Whitewater. Natalie Shabazz will also be attending Whitewater for entrepreneurship. Ashlyn Mitchell will be going into the general business program at Whitewater. Cynthia Bonavia will be attending UW-Whitewater for business administration. Candy Reuter will be continuing her education in the future. Travis Davis will be going to UW-Madison to earn a teaching degree. David Matson will be going to UW-Platteville for criminal justice. Jonathan Condon was going to be going to UW-Milwaukee for information science technology. Shannon Randall Harper will be attending UW-Milwaukee for nursing. Ashley Westcott will be attending UW-Madison in the psychology department. Edward Wolf will be attending UW-Whitewater for biology major. Kari Williams is going to be attending UW-Whitewater, majoring in art. Kyle Kleinschmidt is going to be attending UW-Milwaukee for journalism. Jennifer Hansen will be attending UW-Whitewater to earn her biology degree. Sarah Reckway is going to be attending UW-Whitewater for chemistry education. Jason Pack is transferring to UW-Whitewater to earn a business degree. Amy Montour is going to be taking classes at UW Online for health and wellness management. Elisha Condon will be attending UW-Whitewater and will be majoring in art. Alex Salazar will be going to UW-Whitewater, majoring in communications. Catherine Hatlin is going to be going to Missouri State in criminology. Amanda Hogue will also be attending UW-Whitewater in the technical theater major. Callie Phillip will be attending UW-Milwaukee to earn her degree in civil engineering. Nicole Nunn will be heading north to UW-Madison to be in the rehab psychology program. Tanisha Harris will be attending Northern Illinois University, double majoring in nursing and social work. Cheyenne Dickerson will be attending UW-Platteville for her pre-vet program degree. Annie Morton will be heading to UW-Milwaukee to earn her degree in occupational therapy. April Lasiowski. Lashewski. Sorry, April. Will be attending UW-Whitewater for her biology degree. Rocio Alberto will be attending UW-Whitewater as a Spanish major. Jordan Ott will be attending UW-Whitewater for her degree in elementary education. Angela Nelson will also be attending UW-Whitewater in the School of Social Work. And last but not least, Sarah Frazier will also be attending UW-Whitewater for her degree in elementary education.
Graduates, please stand. By the virtue of the authority delegated to me by the Chancellor of the University Wisconsin Colleges, the President of the University of Wisconsin System, and the Board of Regents, I confer upon you the degree of Associate Arts and Sciences with all the rights and privileges therein. Graduates, to symbolize this wonderful achievement, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left. You all go. This has been a really wonderful evening, and this evening would not be possible without the really hard work of a number of people. First of all, Karen Greenlander is sort of our masters of ceremony. She's in the back there. I can sort of see her through the lights, so thank you, Karen. Also, our custodial staff work diligently. Our tech staff, Bill Murray and Judy Conkle, help with this. And then, of course, the planning committee, Susana Hernandez, Sada Cook, Kristen Philhauer, and Carrie Hermanson. So a big round of applause to everybody who makes this happen. You know, as I was thinking about my closing remarks tonight and all of the wonderful people that we're honoring here, I was remembering a conversation that I actually had with John Sanka. And he told me one time that he tells his students, and many of you may have heard this from John, that they can take away your house, they can take away your car, believe it or not, they could even take away your cell phones. But they can't take away your education. And so as you go out into the world and do whatever it is you're going to do next, and many of you are going on to great schools, some of you will go on to jobs, some of you might join the military and eat green eggs and ham. I don't know. You know, I hope that you will use what you have learned here to take you far. And when people ask you where you went to school, you tell them UW-Rock County. You know, we are all so extremely proud of each and every one of you and wish you all the best in your future endeavors and hope that you will keep in touch, because we're always eager to hear about what's going on in your lives, the successes and the challenges. And remember, if there's ever anything we can do for you, you can always count on us, because these are the best faculty and staff in the entire state, and they're going to care about you now and into the future. So once again, I would like to offer my sincere congratulations and wish you all the best of luck. For the rest of you, if you could please remain seated while the graduates and faculty and staff leave the theater. We would be delighted to have you join us in the lobby area for some refreshments afterwards to help continue the celebration. Thank you.